What's going on, guys? Tim Russell here, and today I want to tell you about the 1% solution. Now, this is something that's really changed the way that I think about myself and the way that I think about skill sets that I acquire, because it's really helped me acquire so many different skill sets. It's helped me improve as a person. It's helped me do all kinds of things that I never really thought was possible. So a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, I remember feeling this sense of not being good enough. So I would look at artists, I would look at these different people that I saw, these game developers, these creators, and I would just be like, damn, I wish I could do that. I would look at their projects almost like on a pedestal, like it was something I could never do, and I wanted to do it so bad because what they built was so awesome. And so I set out on a course to kind of improve myself and my skill set, and there are a lot of things that inspired what specific skill sets I wanted to acquire, but I wanted a way to think about it where I could track my progress and I could kind of focus on improving without some analytical way. Like, for example, when I would draw, how do you determine whether you're getting better at it or not? That's really hard to determine day to day. Like, maybe in a year from now you could look back at your drawings and say, okay, I've definitely improved, but how do you measure that progress? It's really hard, especially in art and especially in things that are subjective, like games. So I wanted for me like a way to kind of personally measure progress, and I realized that specifically in the art, specifically with games, the only way to ever really do that was to measure my consistency, to really measure doing something every day or every week towards that goal, just practicing. I could measure the practice. And so what I started doing is I started on this idea that if I could just improve 1% a day, that would be enough. Like, I just got to focus on the tiniest amount that I can improve just so I can get a little bit better every day and I'll be fine. Because it turns out, mathematically, in 70 days, if you improve 1% a day, you're twice as good. It doesn't take that long. 1% a day, 70 days, you're twice as good. Here's where it gets crazy though. In 365 days, if you improve 1% a day, you're 38 times as good, because that number compounds over time. That was crazy for me to realize this. Like, literally, if I improve 1% a day in an entire year, I'm 38 times better than I was when I started. That blew my mind, because like, especially like with things like art or with game design, and game design is the ultimate form of art, right? Like, you got to do the art, but you got to do the programming, you got to do the music, you got to do the level design, you got to do the storytelling. Like, there's every aspect of every kind of creative art is built into a video game. And on top of that, you got to wrap it all into an interactive experience. Like, you got to let this person explore and play through it. So it's got to be like built to do whatever they want to do, because you don't have control over what the player does. So for me to really focus on my skill set and improving over time, I realized all I had to do was improve 1% a day. And beyond that, like, that was a good way for me to think about how I could grow as a person, right? Like, how I could actually achieve these skills that I thought were impossible, these grandiose, beautiful games that I saw people making that I wanted to make, but I thought I never could. Like, I realized if this dude's 38 times as good as I am, all I got to do is improve 1% a day, and in a year I'm on his level. Like, that was a good way to think about, right? Like, and there's no actual way to measure that you do 1% a day, but for me it was a cool little metaphor and mantra that I would repeat in my head, just to kind of tell myself, hey, like, you can do this, you can get there, right? And it is exponential. If you look at how you do any skill set, like, the deeper you get into it, the quicker you can acquire these different skills, right? Like, once you start actually, like, at first it's overwhelming. You're like, holy shit, I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do. There's so many different things to choose from. I don't know where to go. But once you start getting into it, you start learning these little things, and pretty soon you can start to accelerate what you learn, right? Like pretty soon one little thing can tweak your productivity a lot. If you learn a shortcut in a 3D modeling application, you can cut down your time like in half, you know? So once you start learning these things, like it really compounds, and all these things together really make a massive effect on the skill sets that you acquire. And for me, that was really helpful, because I really wanted to make some of these awesome things that I thought were never possible. So I hope this 1% solution really helps you out. And if you've ever tackled a skill set that you really wanted to learn and you successfully got there from 0 to 100, let me know in the comments, because I love hearing success stories from people that have acquired skill sets that they thought weren't possible. I know that it's happened countless times for me. Like, I would not be here in front of this camera right now if I had not worked years and years and years to try and improve myself to get to this point where I could talk to a camera to a bunch of game developers. So until next time, once again, I'm Tim Ruswick. I will see you guys in the next video.